I said, kind of in an awkward spot here because, again, I don't have a ton of information nor any kind of concrete.
I'm expecting to have, hopefully a really good experience here, but we'll see. Hey, I'm Jake from Rise 4, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be calling a mental health clinic in a random part of the country, pretending to be a real patient, just to see what the experience looks like from the very beginning. Everything in this episode is going to be anonymized. The names, headshots, websites. The goal here isn't to shame anyone, but to actually understand what the patient experience really looks like from the very beginning. We'll start by evaluating their online presence, and then I'll make a call to the clinic and we will evaluate how it went, and maybe even call the clinic back to reveal the experiment. Let's do it. Okay, so normally in this section, it's where I unfold a piece of paper to see where in the country we're going to be making this call. But unfortunately, in this instance, I do think it's best that we keep the location anonymized just to protect the identity of the clinic. But our focus will be looking for a Spravato clinic. Okay, to start, we're gonna look for a Spravato clinic. I'm gonna pull up the maps here. So as I imagine, there's a lot of different options here, but honestly, not as many as I thought there would be. And right off the bat, I'm gonna go ahead and go with this clinic right here, 4.9 rating, really, really awesome. So I'm expecting to have, hopefully a really good experience here, but we'll see. One thing that I wanted to note here is it's really awesome that they actually included a booking link right there in the Google Business Profile listing. So it shows that they're really paying attention to their SEO, their Google Business Profile. Now let's go ahead and test this link. Okay, so it takes us directly to ZocDoc, which is not bad. What happens though in this situation is you're breaking up the brand experience that a patient has. Instead of keeping everything as a branded experience, you're sending them off site or outside of your brand to a different site that they may or may not know about. A lot of people do know about ZocDoc, but it's worth mentioning. Now, anytime you break that brand experience, it's really important to note that you might have some fall off in your conversion rate, just simply from the fact that ZocDoc has a ton of different providers listed on their site. So you can imagine that a percentage of the people who visit this ZocDoc page might be swayed in a different direction. To be honest with you, the similar providers down below appears to have a much more clear call to action. So not sure that that's a good thing. So since that wasn't super helpful for me from a patient experience standpoint, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to their website. Wow, their office looks beautiful. This is a really great photo for their Google Business Profile. But let's click into the site. Okay, so here we are on the page and it brings you right to a booking page. Obviously, this is booking a free phone consult. This is awesome. I think that this is really, really great to be able to speak with the clinic right away. A lot of times clinics get bogged down, and whenever a patient fills out a form, they're not really able to get back to the patient right away. So having something like this where a patient can actually schedule a time for a callback is really, really powerful. Now, with that said, the page itself does not include any information about the service, which in this case, I was looking for a Spravato clinic. At the very least, it might be useful to include a call to action in order for a patient to learn more about the treatment on their own before booking a phone consult. So in terms of services, it looks like they offer ketamine treatment. So that could be IV or IM ketamine, I'm not sure. TMS treatment, which is amazing. I'm so glad that they're offering that. And medication management and Spravato treatment as well. Another thing I want to mention is that from this page, whenever I look at the menu item for treatments, it actually brings up a whole different menu type than the homepage did. And frankly, I really prefer it from a desktop perspective. Now, take all of this with a grain of salt because patients by and large are using their phones in order to do this type of research. Their homepage is absolutely gorgeous. I love that they're using video. I haven't analyzed page load or anything like that, but it seems to have loaded pretty quickly. I just find it interesting that the Google Business Profile goes straight to the book a consult page as opposed to this page, which does have a very clear call to action to book a consult on the bottom left and on the top right. Another thing that I want to mention that's super unique is they actually have a huge amount of original content on their website that you might not be able to see on this screen since we blurred it out. Now, creating content like this can be impossible for a lot of clinics who are already stretched thin. But there are options out there that are very low lift in order to get at least some patient testimonials recorded quite simply. I highly recommend video content because this can be used in a multitude of different ways to reach patients, build awareness, and help you get more patients. Okay, so let's go ahead and rate their online presence. Now, out of a score of 1 to 5, I would give them a 5 out of 5. Now, despite there being that whole ZocDoc situation, which to me just was a little confusing, especially the fact that they offer phone consults directly through their website, and then also clicking on their website link and not going to their beautiful homepage, those things were slight detractors for me. But in general, when we're talking about online presence, this video content that they've created are just wonderful assets that the clinic can use in a multitude of different ways to reach patients. Mainly for that reason is why I'm giving them a 5 out of 5. I think that there are a couple little refinements that they can make, but in general, this is very impressive. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and call the clinic and see if it matches up with this experience we've had so far. Okay, I just wanted to say that I had a false start where I had to hang up for a second, and I received a text message from them right after that says, "Hello, it looks like we missed your call. We'll call you back soon. Feel free to reply to this text." Okay, so far so good. That's a really, really good sign that they've thought about these various patient experiences in order to be attentive to patients along the way. With that said, let's go ahead and make the call. So nervous. Hi, my name is Craig, and I'm just interested in maybe learning a little bit about, I think the treatment's called Spravato.
Spravato? We actually do the IV ketamine infusions. You know much about the difference?
No, I'm not super aware.
Okay, yeah, I can break it down. So what we do are the IV infusions. It's kind of the original version of the treatment. So we've been doing it now for 12 years. And for mental health conditions, depression, anxiety, OCD, trauma-based conditions, it really is the gold standard. In fact, we have an 83% success rate now. Spravato is kind of a newer version. It's not the same ketamine that we use. We use the surgical anesthetic. So it's not quite as effective, and so that's why we don't offer it.
Oh, interesting. I'm actually on y'all's website right now, and it says that you guys do offer it. It's one of your treatments.
It's something we're piloting, yeah, but it's still not available yet. So at the moment, we're still doing just the IV infusions.
So I think the concern that I had with the ketamine IV was that it might not be covered by my insurance.
Right, yeah, it's typically paid out of pocket.
That can be definitely really tough for me, especially because I have pretty solid insurance. Can you give me like some sort of idea of what that cost is?
Yeah, it's $600 per infusion. So if you do all 6 of them, so the standard course is 6 treatments. It's $3,600.
Okay, so $3,600. Your website said that there was Spravato, and I actually found you guys from searching Spravato clinics.
Yeah, again, not available at the moment, but it is something that we're piloting and kind of looking into it for quite a while, but still haven't really launched it yet. But unfortunately, I can reach out when we do start offering it. But yeah, at the moment, the IV infusions are what we do, and it's much more effective, but also much longer lasting.
Like, do you know when it would be available, or?
No, well, that's what I'm saying here. Sorry, we have no ETA on it. It'll be launched in if it will, because this is something we've been saying for a long time, that we've been trying to find a protocol that really kind of maximizes the effectiveness of it. So we really don't have any kind of estimated time on that.
But the pilot, you said, is there a way to be involved in the pilot? Are you guys treating patients with it somewhere?
No, yeah, we're not treating patients with it yet. Yeah, so again, it's still kind of in the research phase of it. So yeah, treating patients with it, and really no estimated time as to when it would be available, if it will be available.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate the information. That it's something I'm really looking for, like in the immediate.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, again, like I said, feel free to reach out if you have other questions. And again, if it's something that does get launched, soon, I can definitely reach out.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Excellent. Well, it was good talking to you.
Okay. Great talking to you too. Thank you. Oh, and then it's just over. Okay. Well, so initial reaction, I definitely feel a little bit misled. So let's go ahead and break down these scores. Now, in terms of responsiveness, I would rate this a 5 out of 5. I think it's very impressive that when I called, I had just one selection to make within the phone tree, and then someone actually answered the call very, very quickly. So in terms of empathy, I want to make it clear that the person that I spoke to on the phone does get a 5 out of 5. I thought he did great. He was awesome to talk to. He was laughing with me in the beginning and gave me tons of great information. But in terms of the empathy shown by the clinic, I would give this a 2 out of 5. And here's the reason why. From the very beginning, my search was Spravato Clinic, and they were one of the very top ones to pop up. And when you go to their website, Spravato is very clearly mentioned as one of the services that they offer. So you can see here, it says Spravato treatment, FDA approved, insurance covered. They not only offer it, but it's also covered by insurance for their clinic. This is directly misleading. And I know the reason why they did it. They did it so that they could improve their SEO. And it worked. They were one of the very first ones to pop up. And when I go to their website, it shows that they do offer Spravato at their clinic. Now, the problem is they don't. They don't offer it. So they made a decision purely from a marketing standpoint. But unfortunately, it's not based in reality. Nowhere on their site does it mention that this is a pilot program that's not currently available. Now, I could harp on this for a long time, but the most important thing that I want to say is that people that are searching for Spravato treatment are searching for a treatment that can help them potentially with their acute suicidality or invasive suicidal thoughts, while also having the treatment covered by their insurance. Now, by misleading a patient and guiding them along an experience, even though it was a good experience overall, I still hit a dead end. And as a mental health patient, that can be grueling. The clinic did everything right, leading all the way up to the person on the phone telling me that they actually don't offer Spravato. They never have. So if I'm a patient, I'm having suicidal thoughts, I'm in desperate need of help, I have debilitating depression, I finally get the courage to go search for help, and I run into a brick wall like this, after this much work, that can send someone in a spiral. So even though they drove traffic to their site, they converted me into a phone call, and they actually got me on the phone, the experience that they provided was, in my opinion, unacceptable. It's really, really important that before you think about your marketing and how to drive more traffic and how to increase your conversions and all of that, that we think about the patient from their experience. Not because it's best practices for generating the most leads or converting the most patients, but because it's a requirement of the mental health field. That's all I want to say on the situation for now. I am going to inform them of this whenever I call them back. So in terms of call experience, I would give this a 4 out of 5. The only reason I would give them a 4 out of 5 and not a 5 out of 5 is simply because we did have a little bit of a connection issue as I was trying to make the call. But otherwise, the overall experience on the call, speaking with the person on the phone, was really solid. Okay, so in terms of online presence, I would give them a 5 out of 5. For responsiveness, I would give a 5 out of 5. For empathy, I would give them a 2 out of 5. And for call experience, I would give them a 4 out of 5. All in all, I would give them a 16 out of 20 for their initial patient experience. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and call the clinic back. It's going to be a little bit of an awkward conversation, but let's do it. Hey, we spoke earlier. Well, I told you my name was Craig, but my name is actually Jake.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We're actually doing an experiment right now where we call random mental health clinics in random parts of the country and we evaluate their overall patient experience.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, the first thing I wanted to say is you were great on the phone. You were awesome to talk to.
Okay, great. Glad to hear it.
But I did have a couple notes, if you don't mind me talking about them.
I really don't have a ton of time. I'm kind of by myself on the phones, but yeah, what can we do for you?
Yeah, no, I can keep it really, really short. I appreciate it. Really, I can get right to sort of the main note, which is when evaluating the patient experience, this really doesn't have to do with you, but I think it is something that's extremely important to mention to the team. But this was all about trying to find a Spravato clinic. When I searched for Spravato, you guys popped up. You were the top choice. You guys have an incredible SEO ranking. So you guys have done an incredible job on the marketing. But on your website, it says you offer Spravato. It's FDA approved. It's insurance covered. Yeah. So first of all, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts about that?
Listen, I really don't have a lot of time. Calls are rolling in right now, but yeah, I know it's like it's something that we're offering. It's just not available at the moment, so I'm kind of in that kind of awkward spot where I can't give a ton of information about it because again, it's not something that's been rolled out. So that's why it's kind of up in the air at the moment. But yeah, because I have no information on it, so at the moment we're just kind of moving forward business as usual with the IV infusions until we get some clarification on what the protocol, pricing, insurance, all that. So at the moment it's like something that we're going to be offered, but since I have no information, I really can't speak, and I don't really have a detail on when it's going to be available. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. And I appreciate from your perspective, how you handled the conversation, and perhaps, a patient would be able to access this IV treatment just fine,
Sure. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, like I said, kind of in an awkward spot here because again, I don't have a ton of information nor any kind of concrete, time, as to when it's going to be available and what that treatment's going to look like. So, I'm in that kind of awkward spot. And when a company rolls out a new product, the people on the front lines are often the last people to hear about it because there's all the back and forth. So yeah, I understand the concerns you got there.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the work that you're doing.
Oh, my pleasure. You have a good day.
Okay, so there's that. So that call went about as well as it could. Obviously it's a little bit awkward because I'm giving some tough advice. And for him, there's not really much that he can do about it from his perspective. So I don't blame him for being a little frustrated with the situation. In no way, shape, or form should a clinic, especially a mental health clinic, ever mislead a patient who might be in dire need of their services. This clinic has done everything right, almost. Their brand is incredible, their website is amazing, their SEO was killer. But the problem is that they chose to follow an SEO strategy instead of guiding patients in a truthful, honest way. Now, if this Spravato program was truly a pilot, which it might be something that they're actively trying to stand up, it needs to be clearly communicated on their website that that's the case, that it's not currently offered, it's not currently an option for someone who might be struggling, who's proactively looking for Spravato. All the other feedback that I have to give is incredible, and the person that I spoke to on the phone did a great job. So like I said before, we're gonna anonymize this. We wanna do everything in our power not to make clinics feel like they're being targeted or like we're trying to shame them. But this is a really important lesson, I think, for all of us, to make sure that when we are making marketing or business decisions, that we're keeping the patient front of mind, because those decisions are what ensure that a patient actually finds the help and the recovery that they really need. With that said, thank you so much for watching this episode. My name is Jake with Rise4. Please like and subscribe this channel. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next episode of Undercover Patient, helping clinics to see through the eyes of the people they serve. Thank you.